Hey, how's it going? So, today I want to talk about calm and the gift of giving. So, okay. So I have some music playing. I'm gonna listen to the playback, and if I hear it, I will talk about it in the comment section. But usually, I don't hear what's playing in the background, and I'll also turn it down because it makes it hard for me to concentrate. Okay, so I'll get started. A few weeks ago, I decided to not use my laptop very much. And when I was using my laptop, I was on there doing sweepstakes, which are cool because sometimes I win money and it supplements my income. And but you got to do it like every day, and you got to like make attendance. And so I start like feeling a little bit uncomfortable after a bit of time of doing that and not winning. Then it's kind of like, why am I bothering? So, I mean, that's like a teeny tiny layer of stress. And then just visiting like Twitter a lot, which is my sort of, well, I only have three that I'm social media that I'm even have accounts on that I visit. And that's YouTube, Twitter, and now Facebook. And Facebook I had, and then there was whatever. I'm back for because that's where like people I know are that I grew up with. Like not just online know, but like people I actually physically in the meet know. So it's uh, like to hang on to that connection. Um, so uh, all of that is they all bring their own kind of stresses. Like you have to maintain a certain kind of behavior so you don't get in trouble about what you say or what you put on there, like if you post stuff. So there's that. And I know that they're private businesses and what they say is the rule, but I hate being told what to do or what to say, especially when I know that whatever I have said on any of them is nowhere near the worst I could say, and but you have to observe the rules. So that little area of conflict becomes stressful because I want to say what I darn well want to say. Oh, and I forgot to do my YouTube disclaimers, but there it is up there in the background. I'm not doing a review of a show today. That's why my head's in front of one of them. But this is just the opinion commentary. Speaking of YouTube keeping to the behaviors, but um, there's that. Those are like three other little layers of stress. Small, but everything's relative. I understand that they're small, but in my life, maybe they're a little more than small sometimes. So there's that, and then I don't know. I mean, I just stopped using it as much, and have just been using my phone, and also not going to all of the places that I had been going to as religiously. Although I do still overwatch YouTube, but I can watch such a range of things on there, like kind of more than television. And then even with my streaming services, as far as just being informative. So, I mean, I guess I kind of have to juggle my YouTube addiction. But I had put the laptop down like a few weeks ago, and I started to notice that I was calmer and more able to employ the sort of techniques that I've learned to sort of navigate just in the world today and not like hopefully damage other people or myself with what I'm saying and doing. Just try not to step on any toes and whatever like that. Because I don't want my toes stepped on. And it's real easy to forget yourself on social media as well as in real life. But, you know, on both counts, you kind of, when I say you, I mean me. I have these sort of devices that I know to use. I just have to get in the habit of using them. And I've been able to, like, since I put the laptop down, and it's kind of amazing. I really like it. One of the things that's happened is that I recalled a dream that I had, I don't know, like 4 or 5 years ago, and I had it several times, and I don't actually recall the dream itself. What I remember is waking up saying Uzbekistan. This happened like, I think 4 or 5 times, maybe more. And then it just stopped. So, like, whatever was happening, I was having a dream about that place and talking about it when I was waking up. And it just seemed weird, like syntax wise, if I was like saying a message to myself to just say the name of the country. So I don't know, like it was meant to get my attention, and it did, but I didn't know what to do with it. And then years later, now I started watching this cooking, travel, food review, eating show called Best Food Review Show or Channel, and the host is Sunny Side. And I like watching that show because he goes to all these places and visits with the indigenous people and see how they make their food and learn a little about their lives and things, and or just like street scenes and restaurants and high class, and he goes all over the place, and he's funny, and it's just like a nice thing to watch. There's no like violence, there's no people yelling at each other, all mad at each other. It's just a nice change, it's calming. I mean, my life is calm. I don't have a lot of the things that I see people on the YouTube having problems with, like kids in school or going or having a job where you have to interact with hostile people, or stuff like that. And obviously, there's so many of us, and a lot of us have cameras. So even though there's a lot of stuff that you can see, there's so many more of us where it's not happening. That stuff is just not happening. And that's like for me, I think that's a great thing to keep in mind. And for me, it is calming. And I guess all that stuff, especially if I pay a lot of attention to it, gets me worked up, gets my blood pressure up, which I don't want because it's bad for my health. And I barely got that under control recently, and then decided to have a, a food fest. So anyway, I'm watching that show, and I often make pilaf. It's quick, it's easy. Um, I got into the habit of making it when I worked in a restaurant, and then someone I works for me now comes to work with me, made it for me one day, and so I got back into it again. And at some point, not just recently, but like years ago, I started calling it Pluff. And so I'm watching this guy's show, and he's in Uzbekistan. I was like, oh wow, haha, it's Uzbekistan. And then they start making the national food, and it's pilaf, and you know what they call it? Pluff. That was the first time I came across that. It's like a stretch from like one event to the other, and for me to be like, oh wow, but that's kind of the way those kind of things work. Like not necessarily going to be all bada bing bada boom, like event over here, or had this vision and then like thing A, B, and C happened. It kind of doesn't always work like that. Sometimes it takes like years for stuff to happen because there's all these different cycles that happen in our lives, to the planet, to the weather. Like, yeah, all these things have to mesh together. It's crazy. And if you think about like all that busyness and action, that makes me want to take a chill pill. So I'm just saying that I just discovered this silly little thing I decided to do out of nowhere. And availed myself to all of this, like, calming energy. And I like it because the the world is giving off like anxiety vibes, you know? And I would like to not feel that way, and I would like other people to not feel that way. And that's why I'm sharing my experience. And so the other thing is, but I'm just saying, the gift of giving. So when you have gotten a gift and you really wanted it and you got the thing and you're really happy to have it, did you ever notice in all of your joy of the receiving the thing, the person who gave it to you, or did you notice like what their reaction is? Because sometimes, a lot of times, when someone has given you something and they know you really want it, they are so happy to see you receive that thing and see your joy. So it's like they have given you something and that they're getting a gift still themselves in return uh, from the giving. You know what I mean? I mean, I have noticed it. I had to get pretty old before I understood like the full gravity of gratitude, or like all of the shades of all the degrees of gratitude that there are. But I started to notice first with like watching someone give a kid something and seeing that like, oh wow, they're really getting a kick out of that. But it's like when you do it, it's more than watching somebody else get a kick out of it. Like if you're all sincere and you're really into it, and like everybody, the happiness is going both ways. It's a big deal. It feels good, and I highly recommend it. And so here's a situation where like I discovered a silly little thing that made me so happy and feel so much better, and made me be able to appreciate and not just feel grateful for it, but see like the value in and all of these sort of features and values that I missed before because my head was up my butt because I was selfish. Like all I was paying attention to was me, and it's kind of gratifying to turn away from yourself and see that kind of joy. And it's free and it's easy and it takes like no time at all. So, oh, okay, I was almost going to be done. You probably can't see it because, well, I think I've mentioned before. Oh, now I can see. So, what I had written there, well, I know what it says. It stands for who do I think I am and what do I think I'm doing? So, who I think I am is just a person like yourself. And what I think I'm doing is sharing with you that you can have a good positive thing to say just to add to all the other stuff that's out there in the world. um, and you can be beneficial to like the greater world. Like I I want to I want everyone else to feel the kind of calm that I've been feeling. I want to generate that because I think people need it. If they want it, I mean, please, I'm offering this to you. And also like the the gift of giving that I'm getting is that I feel like really good knowing that if whoever feels what I'm sending out and they want to accept it, like that makes me so happy. Like that, like I succeeded in whatever I'm doing here. So that's who I am and what I think I'm doing. Thank you and good night.